Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are going to get right into the weekly general outlook for the sign of Leo. But before we do that, just letting you all know it's time for my monthly giveaway. Alright, and this month I'm giving away the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Deck and Guidebook. You'll get the whole box, which comes with the book and of course the deck, the Oracle deck. And you're going to see me, of course, use that deck in my reading today, which because I always use this deck, my Animal Spirit deck, in my weekly. So let's get right into it, Leo. Going to pull out your 3 romance angel messages for the week and see what they have to say. This is a general outlook. Now, if you're looking for a love outlook, you'll just have to check out the weekly love readings. I'm working on next week's love readings, and they'll be out over the next day or so. But in any case, they should be linked in the description at some point once they're done. But let's get right into your general, Leo. All right, straight out we have for you. Let your friends help you. All right, we have, this could be the one. And we have forgiving and learning. Very nice. All right. So let's get right into it. We're going to take out your animal spirit, spirit cards. Here we go. And I love this deck because it is one of those decks you're going to be able to work with for many, many years. It's a great deck for a beginner or even an experienced tarot reader or someone who just wants to have a nice oracle, animal spirit oracle deck to work with, right? For their own sort of, expansion and progression and experience, right, in tarot. So let's go ahead and pull out your animal spirits for the week, Leo. All right, we have straight out the gazelle. The other thing about this deck that I love so much is that it does associate the animals with their element. And at the top of each card, you will find the alchemical symbol. For the gazelle, it is, of course, fire. You would think it's earth, but it is, in fact, fire. Then we have the spider, which is an earth animal spirit. Very nice. And we have the fox. Ooh. Also earth animal spirit. Hasn't been showing up in my readings for quite some time, the fox, but I do enjoy that card very much. It's certainly that animal spirit. Now, the gazelle. Well, the gazelle is a fire element, as I said, and the gazelle is associated with what? Beauty and motion, right? Grace. We talk about, someone who's very, very graceful, but very, very powerful, running like a gazelle. There's beauty. But the one thing about the gazelle also is its ability to be absolutely aware and protective of itself, right? The gazelle is watchful, is aware, and making sure that, it knows if any danger is coming near. The thing with animal spirits is that, animals, they have their own nature, right? And so when we look at the animal's nature in the wild, what characteristics the animal embodies in the wild, this gives us a very keen insight into the spirit of the animal. And the gazelle is one of these animals that is always in motion, moving quickly, right? Yet at the same time, it also has to maintain its security. It has to be able to protect itself. And so as it's moving through life, this is why it is associated with fire, because it is that kind of passionate movement that we talk about. It is also constantly watchful for dangers, right? Paying attention to red flags, paying attention to everything that's going on around it to make sure that it doesn't come up against any unexpected danger. Now, the spider is an earth elemental animal spirit, and the spider is absolutely beautiful animal spirit. It is associated with Dharma, right? The weaving of the web is symbolic of the spider's constant attention to its spiritual center, its moral center. Every move the spider makes, every action the spider takes, it checks in with itself, right? It checks in to ensure that it is not compromising any of its principles. It hasn't compromised any of its beliefs, or certainly hasn't compromised its connection to its higher self and higher moral and spiritual code. And so what happens is that this begins to form a pattern. The actions that the spider takes begins to form a pattern. This is the same thing that we talk about with Dharma. Living a life of Dharma is making sure that that the actual living of life is always connected to your sense of spiritual self, right? And that you don't compromise that. This provides enormous support spiritually and also financially. Being an earth animal spirit, the spider is also one that does very well financially and provides a very strong, stable financial basis for itself and for its loved ones, right? Never compromising itself, though, never compromising its morals, its principles, its spiritual center. Very nice. I love this animal spirit. Then we have the fox, and the fox is another earth animal spirit, and the fox is, of course, extremely clever, very charming, right? Very loyal, very faithful. The fox is committed. Once the fox commits in love, it remains committed for life, and it is also the animal spirit for the perfect mate, right? The ideal partner, right, is embodied in the spirit of the fox. The fox is the one who's always going to have your back. If you come home from a difficult day at work, it's the fox who's going to sit down and actually listen to what happened. And if there's an issue, help you figure it out. The fox is, like I said, very charming. So he's always going to maintain or try to maintain freshness in the relationship, excitement in the relationship, and romance in the relationship. This is really a very intelligent, clever, and beautiful animal spirit, especially when we are talking about a union, a friendship, a love connection. All right, guys, so let's get right into it, Leo. I'm going to pull out your cards for the week. These are going to be 3 separate forecasts for your week to see where you are at. Now, the forecasts, like I said, are separate from each other, so they are actually intended to be different experiences for different Leos, right? So you may only actually resonate with one of them. And shout out to my girlfriend, Holly, just in case she's watching this. All right, guys, so let's get right into it. All right, here we go. Straight out, we have the King of Cups. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Page of Pentacles, right? Well, some of you are coming into this week with a King of Cups, which means you're really trying to take authority and control of your love life, right? Of your love connections. The King of Cups knows exactly what he wants in a relationship. He knows who he wants in a relationship. He is often the hunter, right? He's the one who seeks out his mate, right? He's the one also that sort of sets the tone for emotional stability in the relationship, right? He knows exactly what, he knows his feelings, and he's committed, right? He's committed to his feelings and to also ensuring emotional stability for those around him, right? King of Cups can be very sensitive, sometimes can be very possessive and a bit jealous, right? But this is just the extreme version of him when he is not happy. And I say he because he's a king, but of course these readings are not gender specific. This could be female, male, doesn't matter. But it's certainly a desire to really take charge of your love life, to take control, to be that dominant sort of force in sort of manifesting the type of relationship that you want. Coming into the week, you're met with the Knight of Wands. And this is interesting because the Knight of Wands is somebody who's extremely enthusiastic, very, very passionate. They can be a very strong support. Sometimes I call the Knight of Wands your ultimate cheerleader, right? Certainly, yes, for himself, if we were talking about a Leo who's also resonating with Knight of Wands and King of Cups. But I feel like here, this is somebody coming into you, Leo, somebody who really has your back, who's really passionate about you, who supports you and who's supporting your ideas, right? And I think that you're going to be coming across this person this week. You're going to be working together with this person this week. And I think they're going to really help you sort out some other issues in your life. to do with your career. Now, it's interesting that you will come in as a King of Cups. This feels to me like someone in your life, Leo, who you are actually romantically connected with. You have either a romantic connection or you have a love connection with them. But this week, their role that they are serving is almost like the spirit of the fox coming in, right? They're serving the role of support, confidant, helping you. This is not a love connection outlook. This is more a connection for someone, Leo, who has somebody in their life who really loves them, but this week they're going to be very practical. They're going to be very helpful. They're going to be very supportive of you this week. And by the end of the week, you round off with Page of Pentacles. And I think between you and this person, you're going to come up with a lot of practical solutions to maybe some obstacles you've been dealing with. They may even help you just get some very sort of regular day-to-day tasks done, right? Because Page of Pentacles is extremely practical and earthy. Is about is very task orientated, not necessarily goal orientated like the Knight, but task orientated. So certainly when you have a lot of things to get done, you have a lot of stuff to do. You may have meetings, you have places to go, you may have paperwork to do, whatever to do with, certainly to do with your career, your abundance, your financial stability. There's day-to-day tasks that you have to complete. And I think this Knight of Wands individual who, like I say, does have a love connection with you, but this week is really serving as a support, right? Emotional support. And a sort of like a charge. You're putting a charge under your ass, Leo, this week, just to help you kind of get over a particular area right now where you may have been feeling a little bit overwhelmed with some of these day-to-day tasks, but they're going to really sort of be enthusiastic. They're really you're going to feel like you get an infusion of energy by being with them. It's very, very nice indeed. I'm going to say it definitely feels like the spirit of the fox coming in. Empress, Judgment, and a Hermit. Wow. So some of you are coming into this week feeling like the Empress, and it's very much about you taking care of yourself. You're taking care of your mind, your body, your spirit. The Empress is all about nurturing your creative expression, nurturing your environment, making sure that your environment mirrors who you are, right? When we begin to change, when we begin to take care of ourselves, when we begin to feed our soul and our emotional side, for a positive sort of outlook on life, we also want our surroundings to mirror that. And that is the essence of the Empress also. It's highly creative. And you're really taking care of yourself in a very good way. You come into the week and it's interesting. Certain events turn out and it really feels like there is room for reconciliation somewhere, right? There is room to forgive. Something is going on this week. There's going to be an event, a meeting. You may come up against certain people that you have been meaning to reconcile with. And there's a feeling of letting go judgments of the past, letting go of the things that you've held on to. There may have been a time that you were really hypercritical, Leo, right? I mean, Judgment really talks about having the experiences, in our life, having certain experiences come into our life that remind us that we are only human. And it also serves to remind us that everyone else is human too, and people make mistakes, right? And just as we have to forgive ourselves because forgiveness does start at home, we also have to forgive others. And this is the road to learning empathy and compassion and understanding and sensitivity. This is also the first step to wanting reconciliation in a lot of ways, right? However, you round the week off with a Hermit, and this is not to say that you are wanting a union. You are happy to have the reconciliation, but you want to carry on being on your own. You want to carry on with your solo path, your spiritual path, because right now, Leo, you are on a path of self-discovery. You have learned how to take care of yourself here. In fact, this is 3 major arcana cards. Very, very strong reading for a Leo who may have had some difficult times, up until the recent past, may have not been doing so well physically, health-wise, emotionally, or mentally. And now you've really gotten yourself together, right? And it's like now you're at the stage this week, certain events are coming in where you are now addressing perhaps some of those issues in the past where you may have felt like you maybe made a knee-jerk reaction or a decision, or maybe you weren't happy with the way you behaved or the decisions that you made. And so you absolutely are seeking a level of sort of, I don't even want to say necessarily reconciliation to the degree that you get together, but a meeting and an understanding, right? Coming to an understanding with someone that, hey, guess what? I fucked up, you fucked up. Can we agree that we both fucked up and move on, right? That type of thing. Because by the end of the week, you certainly remain in your solo, sort of solitary path. You remain committed to stay on this path of self-realization, right? And you have a lot more learning and self-discovery to do, but this was just a little stop along the way to kind of get over and perhaps even deal with some of the little some events in your past that have been nagging at you. Last spread, 3 of Cups, Death, an Ace of Swords. Well, this is your last spread for the week. Leo, some of you are going to be coming into this week and you're going to be socializing with people, right? You're going to be bonding with your friends and going out. 3 is the number for bonding, loyalty, right? And virtue. Here we talk about bonding and celebrating with good friends, friends who are like-minded, friends who you are, simpatico with. You have the same mentality. This can also be the card for just general good vibes and celebration. In a lot of ways, I see people sometimes interpret this as third-party energy, and I just don't understand why, because this card has nothing to do with third-party energy in the sense of cheating or stepping out of a relationship. This is a union card, because 3, mind, body, and soul, is one of those numbers of union and not division. So here we're talking about celebrating that union, celebrating the union of relationships that you have with others, that are friendships, that are close, that are happy. However, coming into this week, some of the events and some of the experiences you have are going to make you realize that some friendships have absolutely changed, right? Some friendships have gone through a death. And death in tarot is obviously not a physical death, but it is the end of a situation in one state and a transmutation into a completely different state, right? So this is like a friendship. I'm going to say, as you go out and you hang out, you're going to realize that fundamentally certain friendships that you have changed. The nature of the friendship has changed. The way you interact with each other, the way you sort of exchange your energy has fundamentally changed and transformed, right? And perhaps even some of the negativity of that relationship in the past is now dead and is transmuted into something new, because death brings with it the opportunity for growth, right? So this change oftentimes is signifies sort of the death of an old, stale sort of relationship, right? Or a stale connection with someone for the sake of reviving perhaps, or having ground for growth in that connection, if you know what I mean. But this oftentimes depends on the other person, of course, too. They have to also be willing to grow, or the relationship itself may actually just come to an end as you know it, right? And certainly the connection as you know it may come to an end, right? It could be, an example would be if you have been friends, if you have had a friend and it's always ever been friends with benefits. Say you're very close with somebody and then you always, hooked up, right? And then this week you see them and it's like that will never happen again, right? That's an example of what I'm talking about. It's like the nature of your connection has fundamentally changed and died, right? And so this is what I mean. There's room for growth. It can be said in that example that, yeah, okay, maybe you no longer have that connection, like that friends with benefits connection. Maybe you are only friends right now, but now there is room for that friendship to grow, to get even deeper on another level. And this is what I mean by the death card. In either case, whatever the scenario is for you, you do round the week off with an Ace of Swords, which is an absolute kind of fresh knowledge and clarity on your friendships, right? There's information that's coming in this week as a result of the death of some of your relationships. there is new knowledge coming in, a new clarity, a new awareness, a new understanding coming in that feels like a breath of fresh air for you. To a certain degree, it's going to feel a little bit like a vindication, right? For some of you, it may feel like information is coming in about certain friendships that makes you feel like, well, shit, I always knew that was going to happen. And now here's the information to prove that, right? Because Ace of Swords can oftentimes be when the truth is revealed or when information is given over to you that is a victory, right? That serves for you, that makes you feel victorious, or that makes you, like I said, feel vindicated, right? Which is a victory. I mean, in any case, it's a new clarity that comes in. And this is a very nice, Death and the Ace of Swords is a very nice combination to have in any reading, because it just really reaffirms that the change in the relationship has brought with it new understanding, new knowledge, new clarity. All right, Leo, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your weekly general outlook for March 8th to the 15th. Don't forget to let me know if you're interested in the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck and guidebook, which I'm giving away. I'm going to announce the winner March 31st via winner video like I normally do. So if you want to be in the running, you have to be subscribed to my channel and you have to leave me a comment and let me know that you are interested, okay? A lot of people leave comments. Some of them aren't subscribed. If you're not a subscriber, you're not in the running. So you have to also be a subscriber. And don't forget to check back at the end of the month for that video to see if you are the one who won, because then of course you'll have to email me your details so that I can ship it out to you. For the rest, Leo, if you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and share the video on your social media. All of that really helps me grow my channel. But for right now, Leo, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.